Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. My channel is about marriage to a woman from the Philippines. Today's video is going to be about matchmaking. And specifically, have you ever been involved with matchmaking? That means setting someone up with someone else. And what are your thoughts on that? As far as somebody trying to set you up with somebody. So have you ever tried to hook up a couple people together, and what are your experiences with people trying to set you up? I know from when I was younger and single, before I got married, I was single for a very long time, there were some people who tried to set me up, and not many, maybe several, but I just didn't feel like there was anything really clicking or attraction with those people back then, and probably talking about my 20s and 30s at that time. And I think I was grateful that they wanted to help. None of them were pushy at all, but I think if it would have worked out, I would have been very happy about that. Now, I know the shoe was on the other foot sometimes when someone tried to set me up with someone, and they even told me, "Oh, Bob, this woman for sure will go out with you. I know she'll go out with you." Well, after about 4 separate attempts, it was obvious to me she was never going to go out with me. But the man tried. He had my best interest. He knew something about me, and I thought he knew something about this woman, but there must have been something he didn't know, maybe because they said they'd go out with me like 4 times and just never could. There was always some reason, so I kind of realized that they didn't want to go out with me. But many times I will hear people, not many times, but there have been times somebody has said, "Hey, Bob, could you set me up with one of your wife's sisters? How many sisters does your wife have?" Now, that's really weird because, first of all, I don't know anything about those men. Absolutely nothing at all. They could be criminally insane or who knows what. And they have the audacity to ask me to try to set them up with someone that my wife would know real well, which is good, and she would not want to set them up with somebody that she knew nothing about. And she'd probably want to know quite a bit about anybody before we even got that far, but I just didn't go there. I'm not about to do that. Now, my wife and I have helped one person find somebody in the Philippines, and we have probably had more lack of success in that area, because usually with a man, it's going to come down to sexual attraction, usually. And the thing is about that, there's so many women in the Philippines that are very attractive, very desirable. But if a man has certain particular features that he is only interested in, well, that's going to limit him. In fact, in general, the more things somebody has on their list, the harder it's going to be for you to set them up with somebody. I know my wife's been very frustrated at times. She'll say, "How about this person and this person and this person?" And it's always no, and then she's like, "Well, they must not want to get married." Well, you can try to set someone up, but I would think probably most people don't have good success stories with being a matchmaker. And if a person that you're trying to set someone up with, that you have in mind, is not very particular and picky, well, then more likely it's going to work out. But I would say the odds are most likely, if you're trying to be a matchmaker, that the odds aren't good. It does help to know somebody personally, yes, especially if you know the man and the woman a good deal, that still doesn't mean they're going to click. And so then at the end of the day, you just might be frustrated and say, what's the point? And then you start wondering how any two people get together. So while matchmaking is okay, you don't want to force that person on the other person. And you need to be open that they may just say, too tall, too short, too whatever, too smart, not smart enough. People have all these things they're looking for. But I'm interested. I just had this thought the other day about matchmaking. And do you have any keys to being a good matchmaker? I think ultimately it works best if you just go out and start asking people and look in the right places and pray for who you might meet, and don't stop, and don't lower your standards, and also don't be afraid to ask somebody that knows you pretty good, because that makes it easier for them to try to line you up with someone. Ask them, do you know anybody anywhere? Do you know anybody that knows somebody that you might be able to set me up with? Might not go well, but what's there to lose? Just you're not going to set up somebody with somebody as a creep, but it's another way somebody could help someone find a wife, is just say, well, yeah, I do know somebody, but I don't know. When I was single, most people told me, I don't know any single women. Whether that was true or not, or they just didn't want them to go out with me, I don't know. So matchmaking is risky business. Please let me know your thoughts on matchmaking today here on Love Beyond the Sea.